Hello, I am EJ, you are you, and welcome to my channel. Welcome back, y'all, for another Wild West speed build. Today, we are going to be giving our newest resident, Billy, a lovely little home along with a little camper van RV park camping ground site. That's the name. It's nice and succinct. So let's get into this build, y'all. But before we do that, if you have not already subscribed, what are you doing? Let's go. Go do it. Come on. And why don't you go ahead and like the video? Why don't you go ahead and leave a little comment? And yeah, let's get into the video, y'all. All right. Well, hello, everyone. We are back with another speed build from our Wild West town. Very exciting. So this first section that I am building in is a canyon, the beginning of a canyon. I built this on stream one day because there was just a lot of terraforming. But there's still a little bit more terraforming that we got to get done to make the second level of our little trailer park RV camp area. So yeah, this area definitely went through a few evolutions in terms of ideas. As you can see, the grass right now is very green, and that's actually because I started doing this build a couple weeks ago, honestly. And I just ran out of ideas, but I just got stuck with it. And so I had to take a step away from it. I also was moving, so, had to do that. But it went through a few different evolutions in terms of ideas, but I'm kind of excited to show you guys that process. I mean, at least what I recorded of it. You're not going to see me lying in bed looking at the ceiling just being like, what do I do? What do I do? So yeah, I think it should be fun. I think it should be fun and exciting. So here we go. So once the main parts of the cliff were all built, I had this really unnatural kind of big straight edge. So I went ahead and added on some little bulges, outcroppings, whatever you want to call it. Basically just I made the edges not as straight to make it look a little bit more natural and give it, a more canyon-y, natural look and feeling. Now that everything is looking natural and beautiful, it is time to start the dirt process. This just seems to be a part of every build. It's just I have to put down a lot of dirt all over the area that I'm about to build. So that is what I'm doing here, just putting down a bunch of dirt. I wish that there was something interesting to say about this, but there really is not, because it's just building dirt. Basically, what I'm saying is be happy that this is a speed build and not a stream, and you don't have to sit through me just placing down dirt over and over again. Oh, we're done, yay! After that, it was time to get started with some pathing. And I'm using this dirt path that I actually haven't used anywhere else on the island yet. I do plan on using it in more places, but I felt like it was a nice natural thing. And then I stopped doing pathing and just put down a bunch of items that I thought I could possibly use. This is a method I kind of got from Lex Play. So, love her, and this is how it's going. Next thing was placing down the trailer. So I was not super sure about what I wanted to do. So I was like, okay, let me place down a trailer and kind of experiment with that a little bit. I got these bus patterns off of, I think, Pinterest, but I will put the creator code down in the description. As always, all creator codes for all designs are down in the description. And then I was putting down the stalls, and I found this stall pattern. This is just a stable pattern, and I thought it matched the colors of the bus really well. But here's the thing. I don't like this gap that exists between the top of the cutouts and the stalls. So I was really struggling with this area. So I decided to get rid of it. And instead, I was like, okay, I'm going to try something different. I'm going to put one of my new villagers' houses here. Now, I was always planning on putting Billy's house up in this section. So I decided just to make this just his section, and I moved away for a little bit from the idea of making it an RV park. And I was just like, okay, it's just Billy's area, and he has like an RV out front. That's the thing. That's the story. So now with Billy's house here and all of the red leaves falling around me, also can we just take a moment to acknowledge how incredible this yellow grass looks with all the dirt. Like I really feel like it really sells the like desert illusion. And I really don't mind seeing the grass as much, like peeking out along the edges of buildings and things like that. So I'm very happy that I moved to fall. Thank you for everyone on stream for making me move to fall and just like pull the plug and do it. I was surprised at how not angry my villagers were. They were actually pretty chill about the whole thing. They were like, hey, there you are. What's going on? Oh my God, I haven't seen you in so long, but it's so great to have you back. Like it really, previous games were so much about the guilt trip, you know, about the like, where the heck have you been? I hate you. But this was much more like, hey, I understand that like life gets in the way and, you know, I'm glad to have you back. It was kind of nice. I feel like it's a little healthier. It's a little healthier of a way. Anyways, back to this build. So yeah, and then I was like, okay, I'll give him a cute little yard. If you can't tell by the tone that I'm using, I don't keep this. I started doing this and I was like, okay. And I just thought it was too simple because if this was the entire speed build, we would basically be done in like a minute from now. So I just thought it was too simple, honestly. And I was just kind of like not really into it. And I thought it was kind of boring. And I thought it looked a lot like the rest of my island. The other reason why was because I decided to put this road here. I don't know what I was thinking. Because this is going to be on like the top of like a mountain drive road thing going up here. I don't know. I was like, a single lane road. There we go. It was late. I was feeling the pressure. I was like not sure what I wanted to do. And I just decided I didn't like it. So, you know, I just thought I would keep it in to show you guys the process, the, you know, the evolution of the ideas, all that stuff. Now, to be fair, this area is fine. It looks fine. I just thought it looked a little bit too much like the rest of the other two areas on the island that I've done, because they both feature like a very long, straight road. And this is where I came up with a kind of an idea to make the natural areas of my island feel very different from the town parts of my island. Like, I think that there's, you know, with the natural or with the town parts of the island, it's lots of straight lines, lots of like perpendicular, you know, 90-degree intersections and things like that. And in this more natural canyony part of my island, I was like, maybe I should play around with more natural shapes and more, you know, winding paths and things like that. So I decided to expand out the cliffs next to Billy's house, and put in a spot for an eventual incline, but I haven't really started the cliff drive up yet. So I just basically put everything except for the incline here. And I decided I'm going to go back to the original idea that I had of the RV park and make this kind of like a way more built out RV park and really make it like a campsite, a campground. So the first thing I was doing was just laying down the paths. Again, I wanted these paths to be more natural, more windy, less like really straight. So I had them curve and stuff. And this was an interesting path to work with because it's only 9 tiles. And I'm used to working with really like, I guess, more intense paths that have like a lot more options. So a lot of the struggle with this was just making sure that it didn't look like almost that in-game path feeling, you know, when you have like a diagonal path and it just looks like 3 curved spots all in a row. I really had to like work with this path a little bit to make sure that it wasn't looking, you know, unnatural, because I wanted this to be natural. As you've heard, I may have mentioned this a couple times. And now trees. This is the first part on my island that has trees. I decided that I can put some cedar trees up here. And I'm going to put some hardwood trees in another area over here because a lot of the inspiration for this area and like this island in general comes from a place in Colorado called the Garden of the Gods. And they have a bunch of like rock formations that look like the termite mounds and also a bunch of trees. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to put some trees here. I don't care. And now the return of the camper van. And this time I decided not to put anything behind it because I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stick it at the very back of the area. So it's kind of like more of the background of this area. And not try to like have you ignore a gap between the stall. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I'm very curious to hear people's thoughts about the RVs and about the vans because I've always thought they were so cool, but I've always been bothered by the gap. And especially the fact that like, you know, the illusion only works from like one or two angles. And I really want my island to, if there's any illusions, I want it to really just like, I want it to hold, the illusion to hold up for like longer than like 10 seconds if you look at it, before you start to see like how it was made, if that makes sense. Because for me, that just brings me out of the immersion. So, you know. But yeah, so I'm making these like individual little campgrounds and campsites. So this is, the idea of this is like you pull your RV up here, you get a setup for like water and stuff like that, and then you set up camp out front and you like kind of hang out and, you know, hang out in the canyons. And yes, I am doing the 4th level glitch. And look at this. The first freaking try I got it. I couldn't believe. I could not believe. So that was fun. Now this area in general is kind of inspired by basically the way that I interacted with, you know, the American West was when I was growing up, my parents took my family on a RV trip for 2 weeks. We went in an RV and we went all through the West. We went all through the canyons. We went to Bryce Canyon, Yosemite, like basically all of the big canyons we saw. And when I think I was like 7. So I don't remember this trip very much, unfortunately. And I do want to go back there soon once this, you know, Ponderosa is over. But all that to say, what I do remember is the campsites. And I do remember these like, you know, you basically bought like a glorified parking spot and like, you know, people could put tents there, but most people were in RVs and it was always just so fun and cool to get set up. You would like become friends with like the people next to you and you would share, I assume beers, but like when I was a kid, it was not beers because I was 7, you know. It was just like a great thing. I don't know. I have a lot of nostalgia for these trips. I think they were very cool. I'm kind of bummed that I was like a 7-year-old and like wasn't really able to appreciate them. I think I was more focused on playing Pokemon Crystal version because that's how old I was. And that's when it was. Maybe I'm aging myself, whatever, I don't care. So yeah, so embracing the camping part of this, I decided to put down some kids' tents in the front because I thought, there's not really room for another van, even though I had another van pattern. And I will say with the vans in general, I want to point out that I did try to get like a lot of more vintage feeling vans. I feel like this island is really sitting nicely in like a modern but like old like appliances, you know? I don't know how exactly how to describe it, but it makes sense to me. I'm like, everyone lives here, but everything's kind of old and rusty, but like it still works. So that's how this works. I don't know. Then my laptop died, so I had to recharge it, and that's why it's now suddenly later. But I think the sunset looks really great for this area. I think sunset looks really good on this island, period. So, you know. So, this antenna. Someone in the comments, I can't remember right now, but shout out to you. Someone in the comments was like, listen, I grew up in this area. You need to put a random antenna because those are just like a random satellite dish because those are just randomly everywhere out here. Like I think they were saying like every like 10 miles, you'll randomly just hit one or something like that. And I just love that idea. And I love like Billy low-key gives me like kind of like conspiracy theorist vibes. Like I love him. You know, it's not a bad thing, I guess, but he just like definitely is like, you know, he's like, aliens, man, they're keeping it from us. So like, I would totally buy him having like a big satellite dish outside of his house so that he can like pick up sounds from, you know, space or whatever. But the other thing I put in front of his house is that I decided he runs this campsite, so there's, you know, some refreshments out front for everyone. There's going to be a snack machine for people to come and grab. Although this is not going to be where it is. I'm going to play with a few spots of where I'm going to put it before finally ending up on one. I thought that I was going to be there right now, but I'm not. I'm going to try here. Doesn't work. Here, this is where I've ended up putting it. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like along the side of a building, that's like where a snack machine would be if it's outside. And then I decided to turn this area into more of just like a natural little like, you know, area. And just put a bunch of plants and the bamboo stuff. I will say this is the first one. I'm very excited to work on the rest of the desert now after working on this area, because I experimented a lot with, like, you know, the bamboo and like stunted bamboo growth, and some just trying to make it look a little bit more natural and fill it up even though it's still empty, right? And like that is, I think, something that's going to be key for this area and making it look really good. Ooh, also, I love this pattern. Thank you to I got like at least 10 people send me these codes. I love you all because I love this code. Like, it is incredible. I'm talking about the knockdown fence. I just think it's an incredible design and like perfect for this island. So I had to throw it in here. I'll give you some silence now, I guess. Although it's not going to last very long because we're about to do the walkthrough, but, you know. After this, I just had to stunt the tree growth, fill in a couple more areas, put down some random custom designs, and, you know. Here we are. The finished walkthrough. So I have to say, once everything grew in, I really love this area. I really, like, I think part of it is just, like, because I know the struggle that went into this and, like, the fact that it stumped me for so long, but I really have grown to love this area. I think it looks so... It looks unique from the previous two places that I already built, but it still fits into the same island, and I really love how it goes. I also will say, shout out to me for color coordinating those camper van areas. The blue camper van has a bunch of blue stuff in front of it, and the brown camper van has a bunch of brown stuff in front of it. Can we see? Like, come on. Like, okay. I actually switched the clothesline and the clothes pole because I was like, okay, it's a bit too much blue over here and a bit too much brown over here. So, you know. And then once we get over past the campsite area, the camper van area, I guess, getting into Billy's area, we have, of course, our antenna. We love the antenna. Oh, hello. And then this fun little like RV park area. I was really hoping Billy was going to be outside for this walkthrough, but he wasn't. So it's okay. It's okay. I also have to say that I just like, it was the last thing I built, but that natural area down in this corner over here, like, I really like it. I was like, okay, I like this. This looks really good. Yeah. And so this is the camper van area. Well, guys, thank you so much for watching this video all the way to the end. It really means a lot that you guys, you know, would take some time out of your day to watch this fun little stuff. But, well, I'm very excited for the next one. So make sure you subscribe so you can see the next build. Like the video if you haven't already. Leave a comment to let me know that you've watched all the way. And how about you answer the question of the day? Provided to us today by Santana Perez. What fictional world would you like to live in? So answer that down below if you watch to the end. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Stay safe. Enjoy this warmer weather if you're in the northern hemisphere. And bundle up if you're in the southern. Bye.